7 mistakes I made in my AI automation journey so that you don't have to. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly those 7 mistakes that I made during this 1 year journey of mine in the AI space, which a lot of other AI creators or a lot of other people in the space do make, and a lot of their time, even mine, was spent on learning from those mistakes and learning to not repeat them again. Right? So, if you're going to watch this video sincerely and watch each point with all your attention, I promise you, you won't make these mistakes which I made and which, and again, a lot of these other people make in this space so that you have comparatively a smoother journey. Okay, so not wasting any time, I'll just get into the first one, which is spent all my time focusing on refining my stuff, but lead gen. So this was, yeah, this was probably one of the biggest mistakes I made in this space that I just spent a lot of time refining my stuff, such as refining my skills, my developer skills, my social profiles, improving my overall appearance as a business. Like I had this website, I spent probably 2 days a week just figuring out ways how I can make my website better. How can I make it look better? How can I improve the appearance? How can I make it more attractive so that business owners, when they look into it, they would think that, oh my God, this business is something I would want to work with or something like that. So I did spend a lot of time doing that stuff and a lot of such other things too. And also, I see almost 90% of these guys in this space making the same mistake. And I'm pretty sure, like probably 30 or 40% of you guys are already making this mistake, and you realize that, oh shit, that I am spending too much time on refining my stuff, but rather lead gen because eventually the thing that's gonna drive revenue, that's gonna drive growth and money to you, is getting leads and getting clients. And when you're not putting any action towards lead gen, or you're putting very less actions towards it, then you just cannot expect to get leads or to get clients out of nowhere, out of magic. And you actually have to spend 60 to 80% of your time and efforts into lead gen because like that is the most important, most significant part of your agency, figuring out how you can get more clients, figuring out how to get like how to do cold outreaches or how to, make inbound funnels or how to get warm leads. Just do not spend too much of your time refining your stuff and refining your skills, okay? That is important too, but not as important as getting leads and clients, right? So that was the first one. Then the second one we have here is thought more, executed less. So this was again one of the very major problems that I encountered, that I just thought a lot about what I am going to do rather than actually doing it. You might have already heard a lot of creators out there, a lot of business coaches out there saying that an action taker will always beat the other person who thinks a lot but doesn't take actions, right? Which is, of course, the fundamental of living life and fundamentals of business, that you don't want to think a lot about something because with thinking comes overthinking. Now you're going to analyze some aspects, now you're going to analyze some consequences, some situations which might not even be real, but your mind makes it real, and that's why probably later the execution for you becomes more difficult. It might also scare you because now you've overthought it so much, you've overthought so many situations, so many complications already, and now the execution process will just feel more difficult and all that stuff. So don't think much. Now, I'm not even saying that spam all the stuff that comes to your brain as an idea to do. As soon as the idea comes in your brain, just execute it and just do it. I'm not saying that, but do think about it, but not in a way that it eventually converts into overthinking, right? I hope I made it really easy for you to understand. Now, the third one we have here is that I consumed more than I created. So I was just spending too much of my time on YouTube right now, which again, 20 to 40% of you guys probably are doing the same mistake, that you're just spending a lot of time on YouTube. So what exactly happened with me was that I was not able to figure a lot of shit out for myself, for my business, and like a lot of lead gen things, a lot of automations, a lot of such ideas. And what I just used to do was open YouTube and I just see the feed full of all these AI automation videos, how I made 703,256 dollars in a year in my AI automation journey and all that stuff, right? And what actually happens is these things just drive dopamine into your brain. And once you see those videos, your brain just develops this false feedback of that particular action, that action actually helped you solve the problem. But what actually happened is you just took the help of dopamine in the form of a YouTube video, and all that did was provide you a temporary relief for whatever problem you were experiencing or whatever like tough time you were going through. It also happens with, let's say, like normal people just have these addictions like smoking or video games, and all those things do is that they just give the person, that particular person, a temporary belief or a temporary relief that that thing, that particular pain or that particular suffering is just sorted for a while. And that's how our brain just develops this habit of doing that particular action continuously whenever any pain arises or whenever any such situation, such difficult situation arises, right? So please be aware of it. Please be mindful of whatever you do and whatever you consume. Just do not consume everything you see on YouTube, right? Only open that particular platform when you have a problem that you need some solution to. So let's say I'm just making a workflow, I'm just getting a technical problem in there. So I'll just open YouTube or I'll open ChatGPT. But let's say we're talking about YouTube, right? So I'll just open YouTube and I'll type in the problem, whatever it is, and I'll just find the most relevant video to my problem, and I'll just watch it. I'll just fix the problem. I'll close YouTube. That's it. If you do anything more than that, then it becomes kind of a pitfall or a pain relieving habit to you, right? Then the fourth one that I have here is that believes everything that I heard creators talk about. As the example that I just gave, that let's say you open YouTube, you see a video how I made 256,739 dollars as an AI agency owner, or how I did this, how I signed 400 clients in a year, or something like that, right? When you're new to the space, you know nothing about it. Now, because you know nothing about this space, nothing or very less about that particular space or the things around it, you just tend to believe everything you see on the internet because you think that the other person is just more knowledgeable than you on that particular thing. And let's say if I am a beginner, right? It's only been a month since I've been in this AI space, and I see this YouTuber talk about I made $200K in 1 month using this particular system, and here's how you can do it too. Ultimately, that particular thing, that particular video is going to create an illusion or a belief inside my head that I can do it too, that I can make 200K in 6 months too. Now, I'm not saying that's impossible, but that is next to impossible. Because when you start in this space, it is logic, right? I'm not talking about any limiting beliefs right now. If any of you think like that, if somebody, if any normal person wishes to make 10 billion in a year, you might stop them. You might say that's probably bullshit because not in a way that you're limiting that belief, because you believe that that thing, that particular goal is just really, really, really not possible to achieve, right? In a year, 10 billion, right? Only a very few people, 0.00001% of the people on this earth can achieve that thing. And in the similar way, I'm saying that in 6 months, 200K is pretty much impossible. But when you come into the space, when you know nothing about it, you probably think like, oh shit, because AI is actually growing so much, or because AI has a lot of opportunities, or I hear business around me just talking about AI and how they can implement AI into their business. Like everybody around me is just impressed by this thing and is just so overwhelming and all that stuff. You eventually tend to enjoy the fact that this is possible. 200K in just the initial 6 months of your AI space, of your AI journey, is possible. That is not. Until you have a previous experience, let's say you've been running a very successful marketing agency for the past 2, 3 years, and you are at like 50 or 60K a month, and then you jump into this AI space, and only the technical part of it and only the skills part of it has changed, then possibly you can make a 200K in 6 months, but it's not possible for a complete beginner, is it? Right? That's what I'm trying to say. So just don't believe everything you hear everybody talk about on the internet. And I would say just don't believe 95% of those things, right? That is complete BS. And people of my age are just making these videos and just telling themselves, just selling their courses, just pretending to be gurus and saying they made 100K, 200K just like that. And just selling courses, like selling dreams. Hopefully, I'm not doing that right now, as of now. So, yeah, that's it. Now, jumping to the fifth point we have here is that believes business and decision makers will buy anything. Now, the thing is, it is pretty much of a wide concept, but I'll try my best to explain it in a very short. That I just thought that in this AI space, let's say in the automation thing, okay, I just jumped into the automation thing. Now I thought whatever automation I make, okay, or whatever automation I develop, I create, it's gonna help any business owner one way or the other. And I can just create it and that is gonna be sellable. The fundamental part of building a product or a service is that first you see the demand. When the demand is high, when there is a reason behind that demand, only then you create a product. When there's demand, only then will your product or service be able to sell itself, right? So first you have to figure out how or in what way can you help other businesses or business owners just save their time, save their money, or be more efficient, or can literally make them more money, get them more clients, get them more leads, right? And then when you can um, attach that particular problem with a solution of yours, and let's say you have this particular problem that, let's say you're focusing on making business owners more money or getting them more clients, okay? Now you have to research and think about, okay, what automation can I build that can help other businesses get more clients? That could be an AI lead reactivation agent or any such automation, right? So first you see demand, and only then will you create a product or service that is connected to that particular pain point that is present in the market. You don't create a product or a service and then create an imaginary pain point that business owners might have, right? Something that I see on the internet very, very often is that people create a lot of LinkedIn automations, fundamentally some LinkedIn connection automations, or how you can send automated DMs through LinkedIn. And they're talking about setting those particular automations. First of all, who's going to buy them? Which business owner is facing this particular pain points that, oh shit, I'm just spending a lot of time sending connections, so I just need a system to do it for me. I mean, there are people out there who would be thinking like that, but not much, right? You're gonna find like one person like that in a bunch of, let's say, 10,000 leads. So the basic thing about running a business is that first you see demand in the market, in the society, and then you create a product or service to serve that demand. And just don't believe every automation or video you see on YouTube to be useful, right? Uh, there are a lot of there are a lot of automations and systems available on YouTube, which other creators have uploaded the full guide to, and how they can sell, but they don't actually do any work. No business owner is interested in buying such a service, such a fancy thing, right? Okay, so now let's jump to the sixth one, which is creating first, marketing next. So actually, there's a cycle, okay? Let's imagine there's this imaginary cycle that first you see the demand in the market. Then once you analyze the demand, then you create a product or service. But how do you find if there's a demand in the market? I mean, of course, there are a lot of ways you can obviously identify some products demand in the market, but usually what happens is, let's particularly talk about the automations, these systems, okay? Now, you don't necessarily know about business owners needing this solution, right? Unless you have a lot of connections in that particular industry or that particular niche, you won't know if that particular niche of business owners would require the solution. So for this, what you're going to do is market first, and once you get a demand for the product, when you market, you get the results. Okay, when you market, you would get to know if there is a fundamental demand for that particular product or service or not. And if it is there, then only create your product. Not that you create a product and then you market it. Because let's say if you create a product and you market it, but the demand is just not there, then all the time you spent on creating this product just got wasted. All the time and resources you spent just got wasted. So first of all, let's just create this imaginary product that you have in mind an idea of, then market it and convince that idea to other people through marketing. And once you get those people's demands, and once you see that those people actually need that particular thing or service, only then create your product. So that's another one of the lovely advices I have for you. Finally, coming to the last one, which is believed that I could survive at $0. Now, again, when I was in my starting period of this or AI automation thing, or in this AI space, I just saw a lot of creators talk about even if you don't have anything to invest, you can just start at $0 and you can just sign your first client at $0. Listen, I'm not saying that's not true. I'm not saying that that's completely not true. But those are some exceptional cases. There are going to be a lot of times when you would need to invest these things, right? So let's say if you're simply in the marketing space, in the automation space, there are going to be a lot of areas and a lot of places where you would need to put some investments. Let's say you're going to start some automations, building some automations. Then you would essentially need to put on some investments in, let's say, a chat GPT API key, right? The ChatGPT, the OpenAI API key. Now you might say it only requires $5 to $10. What is that? But I just gave you a single example, right? Other than this, there are going to be a lot of areas. Let's say the marketing, or let's say you're going to send cold email campaigns. There, you might actually have to spend a lot of, not a lot, but a decent sum of money for either warmed up emails or warmed up domains or even fresh domains or these cold email campaign platforms such as Instantly or Smartly and so, right? So I'm just saying that there are a lot of areas in this space, not in just this space, but in every space. Nothing is free. You cannot learn anything for absolutely free. Fundamentally, what I'm saying is behind everything you get or everything you learn, there is an attached cost, and that cost is usually money. So just don't let anyone on the internet, not even me, manipulate you into thinking that you can just start in this space and make your first dollar or make your first $1,000 in this space for absolutely free, and you won't have to spend any money or do make any investments here. You will eventually need to make a lot of investments in a lot of places, but not much, but a decent sum. Okay, so if you are starting out in this automation space, in the AI space in general, I would recommend you to already have like 150 to 250 or $300 in your pocket already, just for the safer side. Okay, it will eventually help you a lot, and it will eventually save you a lot of headache and a lot of efforts you might be putting out there to get that particular stuff for free, or just finding a workaround for that particular premium stuff to get it done for free. So just consider $200 to $300 to be the safest amount of money that you might want to have in your pocket in the very beginning, or since the starting, right? So that's all I have for today's video, and these were the 7 mistakes that I made in my AI automation journey that did waste a lot of time of mine, where I got stuck, and and at that time I wasn't particularly getting this type of content. Like, here are some mistakes, or here are some illusions you would fall for, and you should be ready for them, and uh, and stuff like that. So that's all. That's all I have for the video. Now I really hope this video helped you one way or the other. I really hope that out of these 7 mistakes, you did get a lot to learn, and my explanations, my examples did help you one way or the other. And if it did, be sure to drop any gesture of appreciation below, like probably like or subscribe or a comment, a lovely comment. And that's it. I'll just see you in the next one. And also, if you're a business owner looking forward to implement these systems and some automations into for your business, or even looking for a custom audit for your business, like areas where you can implement AI into your systems just to make your and your team's efforts more efficient and save time, then I'll just drop a link in the description below, and you can just check the link. You can just we can just have a conversation there, and I can, yeah, recommend you some ideas, some areas which can be potentially really benefited from the AI and such tools we have as of now. So yeah, that was it. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching this video. I'll just see you in the next one, and yeah, bye bye.